Alright, you guys, the first Berserker Khazan demo is out right now. So before you play it, I wanted to just tell you guys I'm very happy with this demo. My concerns about stamina being a little bit too stingy and hard to manage, as well as the parry system, has greatly improved. Immediately, I felt the difference. It feels more responsive and even a bit more forgiving, which can carry us a long way. When I played the closed beta, it felt less forgiving. If I was missing parries or missing dodges, I was paying for it big time. But when I'm playing the demo now, and granted I do have some experience coming from that closed beta and I know what to expect, but when I'm playing this demo, it just feels like the flow is much better when it comes to the combat, and that's because I feel the parry is more responsive. And with a parry that's more responsive, then that's using less stamina. So it all makes sense that the game flow would just be better. It doesn't feel overwhelming like maybe the closed beta did, because even as somebody who has experience with this type of genre, I felt that the stamina could use some work, the parry could use some work, it's not perfect, and that's pretty much what I said in my feedback when it came to that beta. So here I am now playing the demo, and I'm seeing that feedback actually come to fruition, and things just feel better. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to report that to you guys. The demo just feels easier in the sense of the game just being more responsive and not so hard on my stamina. And that alone will make the experience much more manageable. Even when I was kind of doing some panic parries where I'm not really timing them correctly and I'm just kind of spamming that L1 button, I was still able to connect them. That's a big deal because when it comes to games like this, you're not always going to be on time, and you want to make up for that. You want to make up for parrying too fast, for example. So when you hit that second or third one and then connect it, and then your stamina is not drained as much, the flow of this game when it comes to the encounters is not going to be disrupted as much as it was before. Because when I was missing parries and missing dodges before, my stamina was just getting drained. And I was constantly hunched over because of that. And that hunching over, by the way, feels a little bit shorter as well. So not only is the flow a little bit more flowy, and we're not getting hunched over as much, even when we do, it's a tiny bit shorter of a duration, which also adds to this game being more manageable and just more fun in general, because you're not going to be worried about stamina as much. The stamina struggle is what I called this game when I first played the closed beta. And now to see that struggle lifted a little bit off of our shoulders, that's very good to see. On top of all of that, I've noticed some enemies are not aggroed as much. This bear, for example, just kind of kept sitting there as I was attacking it. And I was very shocked by this. I even stopped attacking because I was kind of thinking maybe we should fight a little bit, right? So then he started fighting me, and that was interesting to see because during the closed beta, that did not happen. This bear was easily aggroed and he destroyed me a few times. So to go in there, have him respond like this, and then me kill him easily the first try, was very interesting to see. And I don't think it's going to make the game super easy or anything like that by having these enemies aggroed a bit less, because they're still going to pose a challenge once you're actually fighting them. The bear is still not really easy to defeat, as well as these other guys like the soldiers and things like that. You still have to play good. You can't just go in there and hack and slash. Stamina still is a factor, as well as the difficulty of these enemies, you know, getting their HP higher as you go and them being a bit more aggressive as you go. It's nice to see the demo showcase this game as a build-up instead of hitting you hard right up front. Because the closed beta was hard right up front. Like, they hit you in the face. Like, this is going to be a tough game, get good. And I felt at the time it was a little bit less of a build-up as far as the difficulty, whereas in the demo, I'm feeling that we're building up the difficulty. Now again, it could just be my experience kind of making me feel like I have a better handle on this game now, but I do see the flow of it a bit improved. And of course, that has to go hand in hand with the stamina and everything else I've been talking about. So yeah, man, just having that parry feel this damn good and being able to panic parry and still recover is a big deal. I'm telling you, that alone could make or break a game. And I feel like they nailed it in the demo so far. I haven't finished the demo yet. I beat the first boss again in 2 tries, which was awesome. Destroyed him. And again, it's just because it was flowing so well. And those parries felt really good, man. Even the dodge felt really responsive too. I was landing those dodges and it felt very natural. It felt really good. So I'm very happy right now, you guys, if you can't tell. This game is awesome. It's just such a game that I'm looking forward to, even more so now after playing the demo, because now I have even more confidence that the final product is just going to be spot on and just such a good experience. And if you're kind of new to this game, you're not sure what to expect, and you've played some Souls-likes before, but maybe you're just a little bit wondering, is this a traditional Souls-like experience? I would say yes, it very much is. You have your Souls-like system in losing your experience upon death, and then you go and retrieve it. That's there in the game. You have your shortcuts to unlock. You have leveling up. That comes as this, and that's very familiar. As you can see, you got strength in there, you got stamina that you can level up, and all these different factors here. You have skill trees for your weapons, which is pretty damn awesome too. Great swords, dual wielding, blocking and parrying, all that's there for that Souls-like experience, and of course the challenge on top of it. When it comes to bosses, it's also very Souls-like in the way of them having multiple phases. So at the beginning of the fight, they'll have their kind of traditional moves, and then once you get their health down to a certain point, usually midway, they'll switch up a bit. They'll start executing different moves and get a little bit more challenging. So that's there, and the bosses themselves pose just an internal challenge of trying to learn their patterns, circling around them, dodging them, getting those attacks in when there's windows of opportunities. Very Souls-like in its delivery for the boss fights, so you can expect that as well. There's also skills such as throwing a javelin, which is pretty sick, and you can knock down enemies like this. They're going to include things like that to kind of mix up the combat, which I think is great. Overall, it's a management of stamina, it's a management of executing your skills and your attacks, and looking for those windows of opportunity, and somewhat breaking the rules on things. You have your drop-down attacks, you got your backstabbing attacks. All of it is screaming Souls-like for us. So if you're curious, like, how Souls-like is this? Very, very Souls-like, okay? So if you're into that kind of style of gaming, you're into that style of presentation and the boss fights and everything, you're gonna be very happy. All around, this demo has been very impressive in showing me that they're perfecting the imperfections, and that is just something to celebrate. So I wanted to report to you guys, let you know that the demo is great. It's out right now. You can go play it. Definitely check it out, get your hands on it, get a little bit of experience in there, because when the full game comes out, you know, that progression of difficulty is definitely going to be there. So to have an upper hand going in, I think is always a good thing. I'm not positive if our progress will transfer over. I heard it does, I heard it doesn't. I don't have confirmation on that, but I guess we'll soon find out. Other than that though, game is looking great, feels great. Couple drop frames, but nothing crazy. Definitely an improvement over the closed beta. Let me know what you guys think. If you're looking forward to this game and its release, March 27th, it comes out, and I'll be there day one. I'm gonna bring you guys more content for this game, boss fights, how-tos, and guides, and whatever else comes up. And I'm excited to do that for everybody. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.